Every October, volunteers enter a forest at the base of Mount Fuji. They don't go to hike. They go to find bodies. This has been happening every year since 1970, and every year they find them. The forest is called Aokigahara. The Japanese call it Jukai, the Sea of Trees. The rest of the world calls it the Suicide Forest. But here's what most people get wrong about it. Aokigahara isn't the story. It's just where the story ends. The real story is the country that built it.
Chapter 1. The Forest.
13.5 square kilometers at the base of Mount Fuji in Yamanashi Prefecture. The trees grow so dense here that compasses drift and GPS signals fail against the volcanic rock underneath. That's the Sea of Trees part. It's the second most common suicide location on Earth. Only the Golden Gate Bridge sees more. Between 30 and 100 bodies are recovered here every year. In 2010, the Japanese government stopped publishing the exact figure. Officials were afraid the number itself was drawing people in. Along the trails, the police have posted signs. They read, "Your life is a precious gift from your parents. Please consult the police before you decide to die." Since 1970, volunteers have walked this forest every year, searching, recovering, arranging burials for people whose families are sometimes never found.
Chapter 2. A Dark History.
The forest's association with death is centuries old. In the 1800s, during famine, some elderly and infirm villagers were left here to die, a practice known as ubasute. The stories never fully left the local memory. The modern reputation started decades before anyone wrote a how-to guide. In 1960, novelist Seicho Matsumoto published Tower of Waves, a story ending with two young lovers walking into Aokigahara to die together. It was fiction. Readers didn't treat it that way. Then, in 1993, a writer named Wataru Tsurumi published a different kind of book, The Complete Manual of Suicide. It ranked methods by pain level. It named Aokigahara as a recommended location, the same forest a novel had romanticized 33 years earlier. The book sold over 1 million copies. Investigators routinely found copies of it next to the bodies they recovered. Within a few years of its publication, the number of people entering the forest to die had climbed sharply. Fiction had made the place mythic. A manual made it practical. Chapter 3. The Machine. But Aokigahara isn't the cause. It's a symptom of something the Japanese government has an actual word for. Karoshi. Death by overwork. It's an officially recognized cause of death. There's a second word, karojisatsu, suicide caused by overwork, also officially recognized. In much of Japan's corporate culture, leaving before your boss is seen as a lack of commitment. Not taking vacation days is treated as a virtue. Unpaid overtime isn't the exception, it's the expectation. In sectors like advertising, banking, and tech, 70, 80, even 100-hour work weeks aren't unusual. In 2015, Japan recorded over 24,000 suicides. 12% of them were directly linked to work-related problems. That same year, Matsuri Takahashi, a 24-year-old employee at the advertising giant Dentsu, took her own life after logging more than 100 hours of overtime in a single month. Her death led to a criminal case against the company and a change in labor law. But overwork isn't the only mechanism. Japan's life insurance industry has its own dark footnote. Most policies won't pay out if the holder dies by suicide within the first year, a standard fraud clause. In the late 1990s, after the economy collapsed, indebted breadwinners started waiting exactly 1 year, then ending their lives so their families could collect. Insurers responded by extending the waiting period to 2 years. Suicides shifted to the 25th month instead. The clause didn't stop the pattern, it just moved the date. In 2018, Japan passed the Work Style Reform Act. The law changed, the numbers didn't. Chapter 4. The Silence. Part of the reason is cultural. Historically, Japan hasn't attached the same stigma to suicide that other societies do. It traces back to the samurai practice of seppuku, where taking your own life could be seen as honorable, not shameful. That legacy leaves a strange gap. Asking for help still carries weight as weakness. Dying quietly does not. Japan's mental health infrastructure is notably underdeveloped for a country at its income level. Nearly half of all suicides in Japan involve people who are unemployed. Failing to hold a place in the system carries a specific, heavy shame. For decades, Japanese media reported suicides in detail, method, location, sometimes photographs. Researchers documented a clear copycat effect. Only recently has the government begun restricting how the media covers it. Chapter 5. The Perfect Country. Japan runs the most punctual trains on Earth. It has one of the lowest crime rates of any developed nation. Life expectancy, 84 years. It's held up constantly as a model society. The same system that built all of that also kills more than 20,000 people a year. Not through violence, not through poverty, through the machinery of the society itself. The forest was never the problem. It's just where the problem finally runs out of road. Every October, the volunteers go back in. They will find bodies again this year. They will find them again next year. Not because Japan failed to build a perfect country, but because it built one and never asked what it would cost.